Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be my Pan That Palette update. I'm pretty excited. Actually, I do have good progress this month. I have been working on the Bad Habit Artistry palette, which is the dupe for the Anastasia Mario palette. I've been working on this all year. I have a whole Pan That Palette playlist. I'll link that in the description box if you want to see that. I'm also doing a lot of project pans, so I will link my project pan playlist as well. I also have some kind of thoughts where I'm going with this palette and kind of pan that palette in the future, so I'll talk about at the end of the video. My goal for this is to completely finish up the palette eventually, although that may change. We shall see. The last 2 years that I did pan that palette, I was purely just trying to hit pan on the eyeshadows. I wasn't actually trying to complete the palette. So this is my first year trying to completely finish this palette. So yeah, I've been really wanting to finish this palette, but we shall see, and let's just get into this update. First, let me just show you what my palette looked like at the end of last month. So at that point, I had finished up one eyeshadow, I had pan on everything, and I also had created a Franken eyeshadow. So the green Laurel, that was a Franken shadow. I had hit pan on that green, and then I mixed it in with a gold eyeshadow from another palette to make it more of a greenish gold, because honestly, it was a very lackluster color and I really did not enjoy it. Therefore, that's why that one does not have pan, because I repressed it with another eyeshadow. So let me show you where my palette is now. Here we are. I cannot believe it. I have completed another eyeshadow. Now, I gotta say, this month I only used 3 colors. I did not touch my Franken eyeshadow, and I didn't use any of the other shades. I pretty much only used Sophia on the lid and inner corner. That is the one that I finished up completely. And I used the 2 remaining matte shades, Mona and Tuscany, and I used those in the outer corner. So as you can tell, the pans expanded on Mona and Tuscany a little bit, but not a lot. The other shades, I didn't touch them once. And the kind of reasoning for that is because I just kind of realized, well, there's definitely no way I'm going to finish this palette by the end of this year. That definitely would not be possible. Therefore, since I already realized I wasn't going to finish it, I just kind of took the pressure off, and I've been really trying to rotate through my other eyeshadow palettes. And in some of my other project pans, I do have palettes that I'm trying to pan on in those projects. Therefore, I just kind of wanted to focus on other things. That's why I decided I'm only going to use those 3 colors, and that is it for the month. But I did finish Sophia, which is amazing. And I did, like I said, I expanded the pan in Mona and Tuscany a little bit, but yeah, I did not touch my Franken shadow. I did not touch the rest. I'm really happy though. I've completed 2 eyeshadows in this palette, which, for me is actually pretty good, because like I said, I have never completely finished a full-size eyeshadow palette like this before. I have finished up some quads in the past, back when I had a much smaller eyeshadow palette collection, but yeah, I usually more focus on hitting pan, and that's kind of what I do with eyeshadows and project pans, and that's what I did with Pan That Palette the 2 years prior. So this was definitely different for me. Therefore, I'm so happy about this. It's pretty satisfying to see these empty pans. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy looking at them. I'm thrilled with this progress. I really, really am. I'm so happy I finished 2 eyeshadows. Now, I mentioned I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this. I'm definitely going to continue working on it this year. And previously, once I realized I wasn't going to finish this, I was thinking, well, after this year, I'll just continue to work on it until it's completely done. Because like I said, it's pretty satisfying to see these empty pans, and it would be pretty awesome to see this whole thing empty. However, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's worth it or not. The kind of thoughts that I've had is, first of all, this was not that expensive of a palette. I think I paid $12, which, you know what? Either way, whether you pay a lot of money or very little money for something, I still want to get use out of it, because, even if I only spent $5 on this, if I only used it 3 times ever, that's a waste of $5. So even though if this was not an expensive item, I'm glad that I'm using it. I mean, I definitely feel like I've gotten more than my, $12 out of this, which is great. And then the other thing is, I do have a large eyeshadow palette collection. If you saw my makeup inventory, that went up, I think last month. I have 70 something eyeshadow palettes. The rest of my makeup collection is definitely on the smaller side, especially compared to those numbers. and I just don't want to neglect my other eyeshadow palettes. I try really hard to rotate through my palettes and get good usage on them because I do not want them sitting around collecting dust. And powder products, they expire as well. Obviously not as quickly as cream products, but yeah, I just don't want to ignore my other palettes. And I kind of had the realization that there are several palettes now that are kind of getting, you know, 3 to maybe almost 4 years old. And so one thought I had for at some point is to pick one palette at a time and then just try to hit pan on a few shades and then move on to another palette. So kind of like what I'm doing in the pie project pan, where we're just trying to hit pan on something and roll it out. Basically what I'm saying is I don't know that it is worth for me trying to finish up an entire palette when I have 70 something eyeshadow palettes that I could be working on just to try to hit pan on them, and I still would feel like I'm getting my money's worth. That's kind of what I've been thinking lately. Therefore, you know, I'm not really sure. I'm going to continue working on this though, definitely for this year. You know, the question will be beyond that, you know, I don't know. It's fine. I don't have to decide right now, but that's just kind of things that I've been thinking about because the palettes that are on the older side, I have used them recently and they are all still in perfect condition. The eyeshadows are performing very, very well, but you know, at some point, even powder products, they can start to maybe irritate the eyes, or they can become not as pigmented, more flaky. So we shall see. I'm not sure, you know, but I am so happy with this progress. I really am. And I could be using this palette more. I really could. I know that, but I'm just really trying to use my other palettes as well. However, the fact that I have finished 2 eyeshadows for me, who, you know, is not someone who's ever completed a full-size palette before, I actually think that's really great progress. Alrighty, that is it for this update, and I'm really interested to hear, what do you guys do as far as panning eyeshadows? Are you more focused on completely finishing the eyeshadow, or if you're just trying to hit pan? I'm really curious, so please let us know. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.